Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I just realized I was muted the whole time. Great. Before we, so nobody heard that fantastic intro. So let me do it again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Perspective podcast. My name is Dragonfire. With me, I have Telly.
Hello, everyone.
And I have Punky.
Hi, that's me.
And
Punky.
before I introduce today's guests, let me set up some music because we got to get a vibe going. Because, why not? Hope everybody is well and listening on Spotify. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. If I can figure this out. Give me a second, y'all. Music takes a while.
Just go to that one spot. Oh, you're supposed to. No,
Okay, here we go. Sound test. Okay, we are good. Today we got a pretty special one for you guys. We've got the Inclusive Theater. Representing the Inclusive Theater, we've got Amy and we've got Jess. And they, Amy's executive director of Inclusive Theater and has, I've told you guys a lot about, us doing Shakespeare and, mentioning Inclusive Theater before. And here they are. We finally, we got them. We got them.
We're happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
Yeah.
An honor.
We've been busy but it's glad to, finally find the time to actually sit down and have a proper chat with you guys. And it's great. If you guys want to kick this off, Punky or Telly, the floor is yours.
I can start off.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, me and Dragon and Punky, we actually came up with some questions for you guys.
Like
Dragon.
140. We're ready though. We're ready for anything.
All right. Yeah, mine are not in any particular order. So I'm gonna start with this one right here. Where did you come up with the name Inclusive Theater?
Maybe I'll take this one. Yeah. Okay. So Inclusive Theater is now about 7 years old, and the idea kind of came from, I started seeing a lot of shows and places that were not inclusive at all. Okay. Mm-hmm. And by inclusive, I mean not only disability, but people of color, people from different backgrounds, people who live different types of lives. It wasn't being representative. And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool to just have like an inclusive theater? And that's how the name came. Like, it's not like it wasn't any great story other than that, we saw the lack of inclusivity, and I thought, wow, we need an inclusive theater here. And that's how the name came.
Nice. Says Flango from the chat.
Oh yeah, one of our friends Flango is in the chat.
Yep.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Okay. Would like to go next. Punky, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure.
Go for
I
it.
was wondering, because you guys said you're 7 years old now, what was the beginning of Inclusive Theater? Like, what was your first show or project?
Well, I'll let you talk about that. But first, before we ever fully staged, we started with writing groups. We thought it would be a really great idea to get people, again, from these diverse backgrounds, to tell their stories. Because too often, other people tell other people's stories, which is a problem for me, right? Like, Nobody knows the path that I walk. Nobody knows the path that Dragon walks, or Telly, or Punky, or Jessica. Like, we all have different things. So why in the hell are people telling someone else's stories, right? So we wanted to do it through empowerment.
Yeah.
And that was really successful. And through those writing groups, we started seeing things develop, like poetry that was part of an anthology for writers that had never had an opportunity before. We started seeing short plays and screenplays being developed. So that stuff started growing. And then we jumped over to something that I'm really excited about. And you guys were the first people to hear about it.
Ooh.
we were working on what was called the Voices Project, okay? And the idea was to pick a topic and have conversations, again, by the people living that story. So for the first Voices Project, we looked at people with disabilities and what empowered them, right? And we worked together, we all wrote and then came and staged it at Hall Walls. So the cool thing about that is that we are, not to jump too far ahead, but we are in talks with St. Mary's in Lancaster to collaborate on the new Voices Project.
Ooh.
And when that comes to fruition, it will be the topic will be bullying and anti-bullying. So we're going to be telling more stories, but again, stories that we're not making up. And the only time that they're relayed by someone else is if a person is uncomfortable doing so, because we don't want anybody to be uncomfortable ever, right?
Right.
Right.
So then we'll fast forward, we knew we were building, we started doing some acting classes, we had some improv classes, things like that. And then we said, okay, we are ready to stage. Okay. We had no idea what we were going to stage, and we had auditions and nobody showed up. We're like, I have no idea what just happened here. We have a really good show. What's going on? Like, we're talking about it. So then, we did some talking, and we have some really great friends that are playwrights. Buffalo has just beautiful writers, and there's so many terrific things. And we figured out kind of the lack of what was happening is like, we really needed to be firm in what we were doing and then run our auditions. So enter our first stage performance. And Where Will You Put the Things You Save?
Oh, that one.
Yep. It was written by Baroness von Smith, who is an extraordinary playwright, but also someone that I played roller derby with, which was kind of cool.
I played roller derby.
And Jessica did, Jessica did as well.
Sounds fun.
And she came to us and said, I have this really great story. It's about a girl who has been biohacked, right? Like, somebody put a magnet in her finger, and things are happening, and it's really weird, but it could totally happen. So I said, let's take a look. So we sat down with the script and said, holy mackerel, this is awesome. So the next time we held auditions, a whole bunch of people showed up, because now we had the play, we had a great playwright, and we also did it at Alleyway Theater. So we knew all of these things.
Oh, that's a good
And
place.
also, let me just kind of backtrack a little. I had been for quite some time working with Ujima Theater in Lorna Hill. So we had Lorna supporting us and helping as a co-production with Ujima Theater Company and Where Will You Put the Things You Save? So then I'll let you hop over to after what happened with your auditions and what was next.
Well, I got the part
Of
Where Will You Put the Things You Save?
what was your character's name? Do you remember? Aaron?
It wasn't Aaron.
Oh my gosh, it's lost in
Erica. I had read the character. Believe it or not, she has autism. She's on the lower end of the spectrum. Now, for those of you who may or may not know what autism is, it is a developmental disability that affects, children, teens, and young adults. Which pretty much, this was a great story to read about because, she's a derby girl, and she is able to, accomplish a lot of things, but also she has a lot of barriers she has to deal with on a daily basis with her brother.
And what I think is really cool about this play is that, Erica did in fact have autism, but autism wasn't what the story was about, right? Erica was just a girl who, by a series of events, ends up, again, biohacked. And because of her disability, the one thing that happens is that she lives with her brother, who was played by Steve Brockman, who turns out is in a wheelchair. And his partner, who was played by John Profeta, loves and nurtures Erica as though she was his own daughter or sister or whatever.
That's a beautiful story. Yeah,
it was a beautiful story. It was a great run. We did a full theatrical run. It was 3 weeks. And poor Jessica was sick at one point. But it was great. So we knew that at that point that our next steps were to continue with the staging. That was what was important. But we also realized that beyond staging, we were a performing arts organization. Yep. We had after and Where You Put the Things You Say, we had theater boot camps where we would start on a Saturday and we would set design, write the play, all this rogue theater, and then stage it for whoever we could get in from the street to watch our performances. So that was kind of the next step. And then we said, okay, we know we want to do short plays. We know we want to focus on writers from Western New York.
Mhm.
So let's do that. So our next was a series of short plays. And again, had auditions for this, and
Yeah.
we had more people than roles, which was something we never ever anticipated, which was kind of weird, right? Like, it was kind of crazy.
It's a good thing to have. It's a really
It's a
good
Yeah.
great thing to have.
because
Yes.
if our turnout is that high, like, not only does it say to you, it's a testament to your hard work, and the message that you guys bring as a theater is hey, I can look at this theater and I can be like, I can feel welcome here. I don't have to feel self-conscious, or I don't have to feel some type of way. I know I can go through those doors and audition. Just as
And I think that was kind of one of the cool things with us. So, like, I've been doing this work for a long time. My dissertation research was on empowerment and how writing empowers people with disabilities. So, I've been doing this for a while. I'm a writer myself.
Right.
I always wanted to act. Jessica was acting and things like that. But what I started to realize is, one, again, people weren't getting those opportunities, but also it isn't the people who come in that have a disability or learn differently. It's the environment in which we're in that needs to be changed, right? So, I mean, obviously, if somebody has disability, they have a disability, right? But there's nothing wrong with that. We just have to meet them where they are.
Right.
So that's one of the things Inclusive got really good at. So, a typical show, maybe a full run production, you might have 4 to 6 weeks of rehearsals, maybe 8 if you're lucky. But typically it's pretty quick, and then you stage, right?
Yep.
So our first show, we built in 12 weeks because we knew that people needed a little extra time.
Right.
And it was hard. People were tired. But by the time we hit that stage, you could not tell a seasoned veteran from somebody who had just jumped on the stage for the first time. So we knew that, like, it could happen with anybody.
Yeah.
But also keeping in mind that you have to be dedicated if this is the work that you want to do. Not everybody is going to be an actor, and they don't want to, and that's okay.
Right.
So one of the things that we learned during that process was that, well, you know what? Maybe we have some people that want to learn backstage stuff.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of different opportunities. There's people that want to do costuming or
Yes.
makeup. It depends on what level of comfort you're comfortable with.
Yeah,
And that's what we provide, comfort. If anybody doesn't want to be on stage, they could do stuff like behind the scenes, or just be involved in some way.
I love your guys's like approach to this so much, because like a lot of the time, and I'm gonna give an example of this, like a lot of the time, either whether in high school productions or in just like more in like college or high school, it's always like a popularity especially in high school. It's a huge popularity contest. So you're just like, well, okay, the director's favorite student is probably gonna get the lead role, so I can't even look at that. But like, you guys, a beautiful testament of your thing that really attracted me to it is like, it doesn't matter who you are or what your ability is, there is a chance for you to shine in this company. There is a chance for you to have the spotlight, have that space of that hey, you want to try your shot at acting? Cool, come to us. We got you.
And I'd like to think, like, it's not equal, it's equitable, right?
Yeah.
So equality looks differently to different people. So we're throwing that out.
Right.
People want equitable access to things.
Right.
So we do our best. And, sometimes things are really hard. We have turned away performance places because a person with a wheelchair can't get on stage, but that's equitable for them. So that means we just don't stage there. So there's things that we have to do. So our hope is that through these opportunities, and again, really hard work, because you can't come in and think, I'm only going to show up once for rehearsal. Like, you've got to be there.
Mhm.
And acting or anything in theater, whether it's theater, dancing, or film, or acting in general, anything in the entertainment, on that umbrella thing, it is a commitment.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
to
it's true,
honor
yeah.
the commitment. It's a major commitment that you have to really dedicate to, because it's
Yeah,
a lot of hard work.
absolutely.
You got to come prepared,
Yeah.
and you got to know your stuff.
Right.
Yep.
That's the biggest factor.
Mhm.
Is you got to remain committed to it. You can't just be wishy-washy or I'm done. No,
Right.
there's more to it.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of things to it, and always study too. You got to
Yeah.
study.
Right.
Mhm.
There's this.
Well,
There.
and to Dragon's point,
Yeah.
when he's talking about, you get your chance to shine.
Yeah.
That's what we love, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know if you don't try
Yeah.
whether or not you want to act or direct or
Right.
do a costume? Like those things. So we like to give opportunities to people who maybe haven't tried it before.
Right.
And if it doesn't work, that's okay. There's other roles within the theater
Right.
and beyond. We do film, we do writing. There's lots of pieces where people can come together and find what is their strength. We're
Right.
not, we're focusing on those positives, right? And building a space that's safe
Yep.
and where you can learn what you're best and what makes you happy and shine.
Right. And
Yeah.
and it's all about giving opportunities, and it's also creating like experience for future performances and future shows and future just ventures that people may have. Like this is it's such a good space to have this ability and have Amy and Jess, frankly, have you guys be so helpful, because like I'm gonna speak for myself. Like there's been times when I'm been like, I don't know if I can do this, and you guys have kind of broken it down and slowed it down for me, and I think I definitely appreciated that. And you
Yeah, and that's what we're here to do. So
Yeah.
just a quick story, totally, not related to who we are, but theater in general.
Yep.
There is a comedian named Masoon Zaid, and she is hilarious.
Yep.
Great comedian. Does a lot of work. Her whole life, all she wanted to do was act, and they kept saying, "No, you can't be in a show. You can't be in a show."
Sounds familiar.
Right? Yes, Jess has
Yeah.
Celebrate.
Yeah.
she had a similar experience. But with Masood, finally she got to senior year in high school, and the play they picked has a lead character who has cerebral palsy, which was the disability that Masood herself had.
Yep.
Goes and auditions. This is my role. I was made for it. She gets turned down. Not only is she turned down, she is not considered a backup, and she's not considered anything, but you can be there as one of the extras.
Bruh.
And she looked and she's like, okay, wait a minute. Like, literally, if I was born to do anything, it was
Okay.
to play the role of a girl with CP. And the response from the person was, well, we're afraid you're going to fall and get hurt. Okay.
Oh.
And to which she replied,
Oh.
fall every day, but you know what? I get back up and I
Right.
do it again. And if you keep me safe, I'm not going to fall.
Right.
Just like with anything, Dragon will tell you we work on fight scenes in our
Oh, yeah.
shows so people don't get injured, right?
Yeah.
To literally have somebody, this is something she waited her entire life for. And she's incredible. She's, luckily other people don't believe the way that her high school did. She tours and she does all these great things, and she's a terrific comedian.
Right.
Check out her TED Talk. She's incredible.
It's like
But that, if given an opportunity to do what she loves, rather than somebody thinking that she'll get hurt or something, let her do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
If something happens and it's maybe a little challenging, then you adjust. But why shut people down before they've had a chance to try?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely
Definitely.
sounds familiar to what my
Tell them
situation.
yours. Yes. Yeah.
Well, all my life I wanted to act. I always wanted to be part of just entertainment and stuff for
Right.
quite a long time.
Yeah.
And many teachers and certain random adults tell me no, because there's a stigma behind people with developmental disabilities. And I, for one, have high functioning form of autism.
Yep.
Most of you may or may not. It's people say you don't look autistic.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
but-
I don't know what that
you're-
means.
Yeah, I don't know. No.
what
Yeah.
does that mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's that BS thing, which I'll get to at some other point. But I've been told no.
Or you could be backstage and snap your fingers, right? Because that's what people with disabilities do, right?
Or you guys aren't well behaved enough.
Right.
So I kind of listened, but then I actually finally got the opportunity about almost 10 years ago to actually be involved in my first play where I got 2 roles.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yes.
There we go.
And I was crapping myself. I was like, did I really do this?
But that's why Inclusive was born, right? Like, I get tired of people telling us what we can or can't do.
Yeah.
We never focus on the strengths. That's what our job is. If we keep looking at negative, our worldview is that.
Right.
Let's look at what we're good at, make adjustments if we need to, and show them what we can do.
Right.
You know, our next production after our short plays was Shakespeare. And the reason we did it, and I'm telling you, this is true story, is because I get so pissed off when people tell me that I can't do something. And I'm like, oh, I can't do it. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do Midsummer Night Dreams where I have a cast of 20. So don't tell me that we can't do this and that because I have people who learn differently or look differently, we can't do it. That is ridiculous.
Right.
And we turned it out.
Yes.
We turned it out.
So good.
Some walls.
Yeah, 3-week run. We sold out every single show. It was hot as hell because it was the middle of August.
Oh,
Everybody
boy.
smelled terrible and they were fighting at the end. But it was a terrific show.
Yeah.
And everybody came in, and it took us about 12 weeks of rehearsal on top of the show. But that's what happens when you work hard and you're determined it's something that you want to do.
Because
made it accessible too.
And it was, we had a fairy that was in a wheelchair. Who cares? How do we know fairies don't have wheelchairs? Like,
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
One gentleman, Kevin, or rest his soul.
So we had another person who had traumatic brain injury, and he was unable to memorize his lines. So we gave him a book that was a fairy's book that had all of his lines in it. And those lines helped him. But by the end, he didn't need it anymore.
Oh, wow.
It gave the confidence, and also something clicked, right? Theater is therapy.
Yeah.
Somehow something clicked within who he was that he remembered what before he had the injury.
Right.
And I'm not saying that happens with everybody. Like, if it's okay, we could have kept the book the whole time.
Right.
But for him, it worked so that his retention came back, that he was able to go out there every night, and he gave a hell of a show.
He did it like
he was really
amazing.
Yeah,
that's really
see
cool.
that. That's so great. It's so great to see, you know, theater affect and help people in this way, you know, like because of you know certain current events, you know, theater completely shut down. So it's good to see it return and you know be helpful to people to express themselves, to, you know, just be like, hey, this is my voice. This is how, you know, this is where I feel comfortable. This is my space. And I'm gonna own this space. And even in Shakespeare, like I saw that so much. I'm gonna give you Telly's example. I saw that in Telly. Like he played his role to perfection. It was
really good.
It was really good.
It was really good.
I agree. And I'm just going to kind of backtrack just a hair because I think it's important.
Yeah.
Talking about what happened with COVID, right? We shut down in March. Everything shut down. We were supposed to stage a performance in March. Yeah. And we knew we couldn't. We immediately pivoted to online theater. And people told us we were crazy. People told us that's not real theater. People told us a million things. Okay. And had we listened to them, nobody would have copied us because that's exactly what happened. I'm just going to say that there, right? What we did is we instantly pivoted to talking about the importance of inclusion in the arts, how much more important it is during COVID and other times. And then during the time we were there, George Floyd was murdered. We had a conversation about racial equity and how we should be addressing these issues also online. We staged a production that was a full-length play online. Then after our series was over, we did it every Saturday night for 5 months, right? And again, that's not theater, whatever. We decided to do monthly plays, short play readings of playwrights that were local, and we had somebody as far away as New Zealand.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow. New Zealand,
and he's great. And but we never stop producing. And the expectation is you're going to stop. It's not real theater. So
Right.
the first thing is people with disabilities and people with differences know what it's like to have to adapt. We are always challenged to do that,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Whether it's a person of color who has to adapt to a situation because people aren't always terrific to them, or if it's a person with disabilities physically adapting, whatever, right?
Yeah, anybody with a physical disability.
Right.
Like dwarfism, some people can't be able to, go up on like higher things.
Yeah.
Right. So we're always adapting.
Yep.
So why is that an issue now? Like our folks know
Yeah.
how it is to,
Yeah.
we know what social isolation feels like. I had a friend tell me one time, like he's in a wheelchair and he like COVID terrified and still terrifies him. And he says, but I trained for this my whole life. I've always had to stay home. I can't get out when it snows because if somebody doesn't plow my sidewalk, I'm stuck in the house. Right. So people are accustomed, particularly people with disabilities, on what it means to be isolated and to be alone.
Right.
So what
true.
we did in pivoting was saying, we're opening up access.
Right.
This is important to us. And we still have some stuff in the works that once this play is done in August, we have virtual stuff we're going to do because we know it's important. There are still people, COVID's still real.
Yep.
People
Yeah.
still won't go out in public and they're still afraid for all of these things.
Yeah.
So we want to
True.
make sure that they are a part of it and that they're included in the entire process. But
Right.
that wasn't the case. And like I said, when I tell you, oh, that's not real theater. And then 2 weeks later, you see a theater company from wherever, and they're charging $20 tickets to see their virtual show.
Oh.
Don't mention
No.
names, but I'm just saying.
Mhm.
Just saying. No, don't get off to say that. Oh, that was actually really cool though. So yeah, so they started doing the virtual readings. They did Elf, and that was super cool. That was really cool because I had
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell and all that was super cool. But I mean some other ones that are, oh, it's not, nobody's gonna watch it. Oh, I will also say never charge anybody the entire time.
We never had
Because it was important for us to maintain and make sure people felt included.
Right.
Yeah.
And while still connecting to people that were writers locally and some not so local, and actors, and God, I don't even know how many plays we did. We probably did over 100 plays.
probably 20
Ooh.
No, way more than that. We
wow.
were doing 3 to 4 a night. So,
Wow.
but
Oh,
just-
wow.
That's a
And
lot.
just to keep it going, because that was important. And for some people, that was the only time they had social interaction. They'd come in the chat room
Right.
and they'd talk about the play, or they'd laugh at an actor. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. That was
Right.
great, or whatever. So opening those opportunities up were really important to us. And again, people told us we couldn't do it. So, well, then watch. We're going to do it. you know?
And
Yeah.
you did it.
And you did it. There you go.
Right.
Well, things like
Here we are now, yeah.
inclusion, and I don't think people are maliciously not trying to be inclusive.
Right.
I think that people's hearts are just where they are, right? Like I
Right.
think that they don't think about it, that that maybe they are afraid, right? So one of the conversations I've had with quite a number of people since the Jefferson Avenue shooting at the Tops location, people talking about, nobody has asked me how I am.
Right.
And these
Yeah.
are people that live in the community. And their kind of thing was, people just don't know what to say.
Right.
So I like to think that the lack of inclusion,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe I'm naive, is done because people just don't know what they don't know.
It could be, but-
Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, in the
yeah.
same breath, I've heard of people that, go to a thing and they're like, forget, we're not putting them in there. Like,
Right.
I mean, I'll never forget the day that we casted a plus size woman in a lead role
Right.
and her crying about it. And I'm like, what's happening? Like, do you not want it? She goes, no, well, you don't understand. There aren't roles in theater for me.
Oh.
Or women who are
Aw.
older and older gentlemen. There aren't roles. All of these roles are for 20 and 30-year-olds. No one wants me. And we're like, we want you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
we can all
We don't have age discrimination.
we
here.
can alter stuff. Like,
Right.
We've seen it with
Right.
some of our friends and stuff that
Sure.
have had issues with getting parts, like in Hollywood, New York, and because their last resort is by the time they hit the age of 40, they barely have any roles,
Right.
and they're forced to
Mhm.
retire or not do acting anymore.
unless it's super specific. So, like, if you have a play that somebody has written and the lead character is an 80-year-old woman, good luck finding that. I mean, I'm sure there's some out there.
Yeah.
But unless it's that specific, somebody's not being considered for another role within a show if that isn't that stereotyping of the external.
Right.
We don't do that, because if we see something, I'm like, okay, how can we how do we do this? Like, okay, like let's make adjustments on how this looks. You know, we will gender bend. Oftentimes women tend to come towards auditions. Yeah, for whatever reason.
I was gonna mention that gender bending.
Far more women. So we say, okay, well, you know,
we had Prince Charming and like being gender fluid.
Princess Charming, right? Right, because again, you know, who's saying it was Brothers Grimm, right? Like they're dead. Who's gonna argue with you, right?
Yeah, so true though.
They wrote it. Like that's somebody said that about Shakespeare. Like, how come you have a girl playing a guy's part? I'm like, do you not understand what Shakespeare was? Like, every role up there was men playing women.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He was gender bending. And also, he's men. He's not going to get mad at you, right? Like, it's good. So to challenge those things is also important. So we're not only challenging people's beliefs on who should be on stage, we're also challenging what should be on stage, and how people see and enjoy theater. Because theater is meant to be like early theater was meant to have conversations. They were kind of badass. They were like, you're not going to talk about this? Well, we're going to make a play about it. Yeah. And we're going to incite conversations. We want people to leave thinking about what was said and why it was said. Right. And you don't need a $4,000 budget to do that. Right. You need people who are committed to acting and who are going to work hard at doing those things. Right. And that's what our aim is to do, is to keep challenge those perceptions, because there'll always be somebody else that is marginalized or is treated inappropriately. Right. Our job is to say, like, that's not appropriate. We want you here. Our space is safe. You're supposed to love without condition. That's what we do. Right. Yeah. That's who we are. And again, keeping in mind that not everybody's going to end up on, Channel 2 in a movie. I mean, they might if they do something stupid, if they're on the news, right? But
not everyone's going to be like Kim Kardashian.
But, not everybody's going to do that. That's okay. Because they bring something else somewhere else that's important and it's necessary. Right. So that's the stuff that drives what we do. We could do a play that's a full-length play and, completely flip over. Now, obviously, we do talk to the playwrights, so we're not just unilaterally making decisions, but we have these conversations because maybe they didn't see that perspective. Sometimes police officers are in wheelchairs. Sometimes your uncle has mental health issues. Like, these are all things that happen in our world. Why are we not? Stage should be a reflection of what life is.
Right.
It's
good to.
Yeah.
It's good to talk about it, these things in like a more light way. Something that everybody can digest, or just kind of get a little more light with, because a lot of these topics can be heavy at times. Right. So it's like important to kind of just break it down and be like, all right, it makes sense to me this way and I can consume it this way, but like all that other stuff that I be seeing, that's not for me. But this thing right here, this I can work with.
So an interesting thing to that, right? Like, people learn at the point of discomfort. Okay. Yeah. And what we've learned throughout the time that we've been doing this is that often people come in not knowing what they're walking into, and they're a little uncomfortable. Okay. So for me, that's great, because you're gonna leave change, right? It's come to Jesus moment. You've come to the theater, right?
That is what theater is. That's what theater is.
It is.
What we also learned is that sometimes people, again, going back to Jefferson, they don't know. Oh, is that not plugged in? They don't know how to respond to things. Do you have power for that? They don't know how to respond to things. Right. So they're afraid to respond to things. Right. So, for example, we had to say it with Shakespeare. It's okay to laugh. Right. We want you to laugh. You're not laughing at us. Right. We are all together here, and we want you to laugh. And then once they do, all inhibitions go away. Right.
Yeah.
It's a comedy play, we ham it up all the time. We like absolutely ham it up. So
it's fun, right? Some people are so afraid of being offending or offensive that they won't. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
No, you're fine. No, thank you for.
It was great. Okay.
But the greatest thing about this is that you get to get out of your comfort zone.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
So
for sure.
that's actually important
Well,
because it's
here's-
not just for the audience, it's for the actors too. It's really uncomfortable, right?
Right.
Well, the greatest way to have self-growth and self-confidence is you got to get out of your comfort zone.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
one of the main goals.
Yeah.
If you don't accomplish your dreams, you're going to be stuck in a bubble of isolation and
Yeah.
not achieving what your goals are.
Right.
And that's what we do.
Right.
That's what I had to do.
Right.
I was scared shitless doing my first audition and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
But you
yeah.
do it.
I know that
But
feeling.
You got to.
Yeah, me too.
And you'll regret it later in life.
And what's fun for me, and you guys don't get to see it, but you'll see it this time around, and hopefully Sarah will be in help with a couple of directing things that we have going on, is you get to see growth. You
Oh,
guys
yeah,
are
for
up
sure.
there on stage and you're doing your thing. And that's all that you're thinking of, right?
Yep.
But as a director, I'm watching you. And I watched you the first day when you came in and you were barely whispering. At the end, projecting your voice, and they can hear you across the street because you're feeling it now.
Yeah.
You got what's supposed to be said. And
Yeah.
there is nothing more rewarding than seeing people grow.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
you
So
give
true.
them the safest
Yeah.
space to do it, it's amazing.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
And we have some new folks coming into the shorts in August. It's going to be exactly like that. You're going to see
Yeah,
it and you're
for
going to
sure.
be like, holy mackerel, they didn't even talk when we first met them.
Right.
But at the end, they're like, hey, we going out Friday? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
that's
mean-
what it's about.
It's like in theater, like it's something new. When it's something new for you, like I'm not sure how I'm gonna really do, but like you eventually
You find
just
something in yourself. that you
Right.
didn't
Yeah.
think was
You have your
there.
doubts and
Yeah.
it just
you
comes to you,
settle
yeah.
into a sort of a groove, and it just works. It
Right.
just
Well,
works.
Well, you see it with anybody you encounter with,
Yeah.
and you
Mhm.
see over time as you're getting, doing rehearsals with them and getting to know the person, you see the confidence build. You
Right.
see the
Yeah.
self-worth, the self-confidence, and then by the time they hit the stage, you're like, oh my God, how did that happen?
Right.
Well, and we
Mhm.
like to joke, like this literally becomes your family, right? Like
Yeah.
whether it's a short
Oh,
play,
yeah.
or a full
Yep.
play, and then everybody's like, well, don't say that because everybody's family is messed up. But maybe, but when you come to a theater family, it really does become that. You rely
It
on each
is.
other.
Yeah.
You trust each other. We work with each other to get each other back and forth there.
Right.
You
Like
know, so all of these things are important pieces to growing as people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say his character's name, Orlando. Orlando
Yes.
to me
Oh,
became
Orlando,
my battle buddy. Like that's what I would call it, because like we were doing a very almost like a difficult maneuver on stage, and like we could get easily hurt. So like we learned to like trust each other, and you build that friendship and that bond and that relationship with your scene partner,
Yeah.
to a point where you're like we're literally in the last closing night. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna take a fall. I know he got me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Especially
important that you
I
say
had
that. Yeah, it was super cool, right? And
Yeah.
you have to trust somebody that they're not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
And just for
Yeah.
context, we just finished As You Like It in May.
Right.
So
Mhm.
it's the scene between Orlando and the wrestler Charles, right?
Yeah.
Justin's a thing, who come in and they're fighting. And it's for honor, and it's for, you want to put it over there?
Let's take a
That
look.
was the playbill,
That's
right? Or
that's
the-
us.
There it is.
It's
There
us.
it is.
Hey, look
Hey,
at
there
that.
it is.
Sorry about that.
That's us.
And this is Orlando. This is Salvatore. So but you have to trust one another. You have to know that somebody's got you, right?
Right.
Mhm.
And if they don't got you, your directors are there, and it will never happen again, right?
Right.
Like we have to take
Yeah.
care of one another.
Right.
But that also carries backstage, right? We're respectful of spaces.
Right.
We're respectful of people having to do certain things to be comfortable. But it all carries through. And I am glad that you brought that up, because we brought somebody in to help choreograph that scene.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
even
he was
without
really
that,
good. I
without
liked
him, if he had not come and you guys did that, you would have had to rely pretty heavily on each other. And you did great.
Yeah.
Everybody, check your
Yeah.
posture. We
Oh,
just
yeah,
got
posture
posture check redeem.
It was
Straighten out your back. Stretch out a little. Check your
Yes.
posture.
Watch out. Woohoo, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Thanks, you know what?
Do you have the chat on? Do we have anything in the chat?
At the moment, no questions from chat. We're okay.
Okay.
But I have a question.
If anybody's interested, feel free to ask us questions.
Yeah, of course, chat. You know the deal. You're always invited to ask questions. All right.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go to one of these.
Okay. Ready.
What goes into starting a theater company? What was your kind of process with that?
Blood, sweat, and tears. No, it's really not. You have to have an idea, okay? And it's funny because some people just do it because it's something that they love and they want to do it. Some people get pissed off at another theater company and start their own. Like, there's a million reasons why people start them, right?
Yeah.
But really, to start them, you really just have to have an idea,
Yep.
and you want it to be specific. So in our case, inclusivity, that's pretty specific for us, right? We're inclusive of everyone.
Right.
There's other companies that will just be like Ujima was doing African American productions. That was, what Lorna worked hard for.
Yeah.
She wanted that. There was a need for that. Paul Robeson's another. Then you have some others that might be just Native American focused or whatever. There's lots of different types of theater companies.
Yeah.
So it's really choosing what it is that you want and gathering people around you that share the same dream, right? And you may not always see eye to eye. So people will come and go, but it is what it is. Not everybody's meant to be in your life forever anyway. Like, that's just a thing that happens. But also knowing that you have people that you can rely on to tell you when you're doing something a little bit crazy,
right?
Or to tell you to rein it in. But really, it's just, if your passion is to do it, you just do it. Again, we started small. We did writing group, and we knew where we were going. We knew staging was where it was at.
Right.
But we also knew that it was going to take time to get there because, unfortunately, in Buffalo theater, and I don't know how it is around the country, but Buffalo theater tends to be rather, for lack of a better word, cliquey. And there are people that, and come at me, I'm ready for it. There are people that think you need to earn your stripes before you're seen as a valid actor and or theater company, etc.
Oh my God. I've seen that so many times. It's so bad.
If you have the desire and the dream, and again, come at me. You got my email. Inclusive Theater with me. I'm happy to talk about it, right? But the reality is that's not how it is.
Yeah.
You do have to work hard, but nobody can say, well, I've been in it 50 years and I'm better than the guy that is here at first year.
Right.
If that's the case, it is your responsibility to build capacity and help get them to where you are. It is not an excuse to say, I've done this for a long time. I'm here, you're there. Completely false. Your job is equitable access, right? It's to help people.
It's important.
But it's discouraging, right?
It's important as like entertainers and in that industry because and I've seen this like on multiple avenues because like music and theater and all that stuff, like there's like a whole spectrum of experience and a whole spectrum of different basically experience, really, people with different abilities, and it's good to not work against each other because think of it this way, you benefit more by working together versus working against someone, because if you're working against someone, you're missing out opportunities to really mix and match abilities together to create something that is to create a product that could be stronger, at the end of the day.
It's really interesting that you brought that up. I'm going to piggyback on that. It's like, what you said about the clique and stuff. There's also egos too. You're gonna have a mix of everybody in the entertainment business, whether it's film, theater, singing, dancing, anything. You're always going to have to, there's always going to be someone that's going to act like that. But at the end of the day, you got to remain humble.
Right.
Because you never know
when,
the opportunity stops for you.
Right.
And this is a conversation. It's a conversation that happens everywhere. We see
Right.
it in academia. Well, I'm tenured and I've been here. You're just an adjunct. You know what? Like, you should be helping them be better than, or open up positions for them and give
Right.
people access to stuff.
Right.
It is not okay that this person that's the favorite is always cast in a show.
Right.
Like, that doesn't
Yeah.
give people the opportunity. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't cast good people. Like, I'm not saying that. But it's our responsibility to lift each other up. That's our job as human beings. If you look at diversity, right, our difference is what makes us beautiful.
Right.
So why do we not want more diverse casting and participants? You know, if somebody comes in as a first-time director, I'm not going to sit there and yell at you for being new.
Right.
I'm going to work with you to try to make it so next time you can maybe do it on your own.
Right.
Or maybe
Right.
you get a little bit better and you say, I want to do a full length. And here we are. That's what our job is.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I don't mean to discredit, you know, we are so blessed to have Virginia Brannon as one of our directors. She's directed for a
She's
long time. That
amazing.
woman is
Oh, yeah,
amazing.
for sure.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What does she do? She shares everything that she does,
Yeah.
from her acting to her directing, to help other people grow and become better. That's what our role is.
Actually,
It isn't an elitist thing. We're all part of it. And theater is for everyone. Also, a
Right,
misconception that some people seem to have. There was this idea that, you know, it was a elitist thing and that it's for people with money. Nonsense.
right.
It
Right.
is
For
for
everybody.
everyone.
That's
and for
for-
some
it's for-
people, it's the only way that they learn.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, here we are.
I'm gonna turn it over to my co-hosts if you got any
I actually have
questions.
one question right now.
Okay.
It was actually, since you brought up Virginia, that was actually one of my questions. It was, how did you meet the fellow Inclusive Theater directors, Virginia and Dallas?
So the Virginia story first. She was the director on our first play and Where We Put the Things You Save. And I didn't know her. The playwright did. And she goes, there's this really incredible woman that I want you to meet. And she would be amazing for the show. I met her once. I'm like, I love her.
Oh,
And I hope she stays forever. And lucky for us, she has. She's just a beautiful human being. And her goals and love of theater is exactly what ours is to help build capacity and help people become better. Dallas is a funnier story, and I laugh about this. So Dallas was my student. So I'm an English professor at an
Oh yeah, you
unnamed
told us that
university.
before.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
remember that.
he was in my class and he never talked, right? So I can't even remember what the grade, like when the first time I saw him again, I'm like, did I pass you? Because like, I don't even remember, like you never talked. So after he graduated, I got a friend request and I'm like, okay, well, this is cool. He didn't talk, but school's done. Like I have a line where if they're my student, like I'm not going to do it till you graduate. We're not doing that. Like, you know.
Right.
So one day I posted about having a writing group. And the first time, you know, it was just the group of the writers. The next time, here comes Dallas. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, I know him. How do I know him? And I'm like, oh my God, he was in my class. So it actually turned out really good because that particular writing group was all men. So I was in there and it was me writing and I'm like, wait a minute, you know, I do remember he was a good writer. I still don't know if I passed him, but I'm assuming I did because he's still here, right? Like,
Yep.
if not, I'm going to override the grade because he's earned it, right? He's got that A now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But he mentored the writers in that group like I had never seen. And again, remember, he wasn't speaking. So to know that this was within him.
Yep.
And then he started showing up for classes. And this is another one of those where, and I get goosebumps, like seeing how much he's grown. Dallas is on NPR now. He's, you know, he does improv. He's acted in shows. He was just at a play at New Phoenix. The play,
And
it
he
was
was
a play written
in-
by Mike Finelli. Yeah.
And
Amazing.
he was in our movie
That's
Look Up.
awesome.
also.
Yes.
He was in
Yeah,
Yes.
he was in Look
Yeah.
Up.
He was in Look
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah. And we're in there too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you
You
are.
guys all are in it.
Everybody here is in the movie.
Literally.
Everybody
Yeah, but
involved.
like all of these things.
Everybody.
And this, again, was a person who didn't talk in my class. So that's also kind of a testament to how people are, right? Like some
Yeah.
people are going to sit in the back and be a little quiet. It doesn't mean they're not listening.
But also
Right.
how you affect people's lives.
Well, I don't know about that. He's
Positively.
He has I take no credit whatsoever for who Dallas is because he has, just like anybody else.
Yeah.
Like I can give you tools if you don't want to use them. it doesn't matter.
Right.
He's not only used them, he built a toolbox.
Right.
And what's really great is that he shares those.
Yeah.
He directs now for Inclusive. He's the artistic director. He does beautiful work. And this, again, was somebody who was very quiet and reserved. And that's just because that's who Dallas is and was until you get to know him.
Right.
But also to see how much he's grown is just beautiful.
It's
beautiful.
I'm so excited to work with Dallas
Yeah.
on the play that I'm in with them in August. That's happening. I want to take a quick pause to say Mama Bear is in chat right now.
Hello, Mama Bear.
Mama Bear is in chat. Everything stops when Mama Bear comes in.
I love it.
She calls us all every guest who comes, all of us. So the three of us, and everybody in chat are her cubs.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Also, peep the new badge, Punky, the artist badge.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
You've got a new artist badge.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
because you made my very first emote on the channel. I gave you this badge.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. We're finding this out live. Just a reminder for everybody listening to us on Spotify, we've got Amy and Jess with us, and they are with us on behalf of Inclusive Theater. You can find them at where?
www.inclusivetheaterofwny.com, and also Facebook. It's just /Inclusive Theater, I think. You do a search.
As well.
We're on Instagram, we're on the Twitter, we're on the TikTok, we're on all of the things.
There
So
you go. So
yeah,
guys,
find us.
listening in, this is where you can find them. Oh, Mama Bear says hello to you guys.
Hi.
All right. So, Punky, do you have
Yeah.
questions?
I do. It is dark in here, so I am trying to.
Okay. That is okay.
What are some shows what are some dream shows or roles that you guys would really love to see
That was one of my
Oh my
questions.
God,
That's good.
that you want to do?
all the Shakespeare's. We're already working on next year's, and hopefully that one will come to light. But any Shakespeare,
Ooh.
because again, keep telling us we can't do it, so keep doing it.
Or like
Yes.
or thinking of I would always poke at her. I was like, we should do girl fellas. Like good.
She wants to yeah.
Oh my god,
Oh.
I would love that.
Reverse.
Yes,
see
that
them
would be
rock
great.
Because I love a lot of films and movies.
That's
and
one of my favorite movies.
Ooh,
Good.
Same
nice.
here.
So good.
Nice.
Such a great movie.
You know
We
what?
saw Chaz Palminteri's one-person show or one-man show,
Bronx Tale.
and that's the Bronx Tale. Wow.
Mom-
Oh yeah, that's a good one
No,
too.
that's
It
Yeah.
needs to be brought.
Comment from chat. Mama Bear says, do Merchant of Venus.
Oh, Merchant of Venice. Fantastic
Venice.
play.
That-
Yeah.
That is on our list. I believe the one that is being worked on now is Macbeth.
Okay.
Oh.
But
Okay.
this time I'm not doing it. I adapted As You Like It. I'm taking a break because it almost
Yeah.
killed me.
Yeah.
But it's being adapted now. But definitely that is on our list of shows to do.
Okay.
I personally like to do shows that are thought-provoking and shit-stirring, quite honestly. That's
Yeah.
what I like to
Yeah.
do. I also like people to leave thinking. There's a really good play that's newer. It's called Amy and the Orphans. I'd really, really like to do that here. It was done on Broadway, and I'd like to bring the original actor here. She's a friend of ours.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
we'll talk about her. Yep.
Oh, Jamie Brewer. She's a really good friend of ours. You all have probably seen her in American Horror Story and some other films.
Oh, what?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
What?
She's a sweetheart. Oh my
Dude,
gosh, such a
what?
dog. Love to have her here.
That's the hope. And if she's watching, we haven't told her that yet, but
She,
we love you. But that's kind of the hope. But
Double
also,
J misses you.
yeah, the beginnings, right?
Yeah, we have a click together.
Yeah, but I really like to do things that are non-conventional and also things again that people tell us we can't do. So give me anything, I'll take it.
We'll take a challenge.
Just wants a musical, not really interested in that. But if the opportunity came up, I would never say no. I think it'd be a fun thing to do.
I think we should do in the film.
Well, definitely want to do a film. We do the Disability Film Challenge, so I would like a full length and all of that.
You know,
Or we could also have like acting coaches or something.
Yes.
More of like big name acting coaches and stuff.
you know what I would absolutely be on top of if you did? Y'all
What?
already know what I'm
Oh, I
about
already
to.
know what it is.
What
I
is
already
it?
know.
Phantom of the Opera.
Oh my God, can you imagine? That'd be amazing.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh, yeah, that'd
I
be
would
really
be
good.
Yes.
all over the Phantom. I love Phantom of the Opera. Like
So
with
our
the
biggest challenge lies in that these named shows
Yeah.
cost to produce. So an average show that maybe isn't as big as Phantom could cost us $650 to $1,000 just to get the rights to do it.
Oh,
So that's kind of been a barrier because a lot of what we do is, people donate their plays to us, and and they're people that are writing plays and getting them produced all over.
Yeah.
So it's not that there's an issue; they just believe in our work.
Right.
The dream is to be able to do those, to say, okay, let's just write that check for the rights and let's do it.
Yeah.
And then because also part of our what we do is we pay actors when we make that money
right,
because you guys deserve to be compensated for your work.
right.
And that isn't always the case, particularly from people from diverse groups, right? Like that becomes, well, you should volunteer your time or you should do this. Well, time is valuable for everybody. So one of the things that we hope is to have that income coming in to be able to do that as well.
All right.
Now I'm seeing Phantom of the Opera in my head. Thanks.
Kind of going off of our last production that we had. What was the experience like? Kind of take us through the experience, the hurdles, and the good parts of a modern day adaptation of Shakespeare. Tell us about that.
So the best part about it is that he's dead and he doesn't care what we do. So that's the worst. Right? I don't have to deal with a playwright that doesn't want us to make changes.
Yep.
Most do though, so it's okay.
Yep.
But he also didn't have to have input on who we cast. And one of the things that we do, not do. We tend to adapt the script because as a full length, it can be a 3-hour play, right? And we know nobody want to see that, right? Like, so what happened is, I had the actual play that Shakespeare wrote. There are no public domain, meaning free, adaptations. So I went through line by line and pulled everything out that I thought would be important without changing the meaning of the play or removing something that was very important.
Right.
But, to be fair, Shakespeare can sometimes prattle on and on and on and on and on about some stuff, and he could have done it in one sentence.
Right.
And nobody got time for that. Let's make it short and sweet.
Right.
So the original play as it stood was over 90 pages.
Oh, wow.
I believe I got it down to 70 or
70.
something like that, 70
Yeah,
pages.
75 or something like that.
Yeah. So, and that was with, the title page and all that stuff. So, and then I also double spaced everything so people could read it. So it was probably closer to 60 or 55 pages.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the first part, was getting it down. And that took a while, but that's the work I'd love to do. I'm a writer. I'd like to be able to do that. But then it was going back to Dallas and Virginia and saying, okay, we need blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And then we held auditions. And I believe we did some of those virtually as well. And then we had people who said, I just want to do it. And we knew your work from before because we had come
like
off
us.
Yeah, we knew your work. You did the stuff before. We worked with you and other. So in that particular case, we said, okay, we know we want Dragon here, we want Telly here, blah blah blah. And here we were. And then we said, okay, how do we do this? We're short a couple of people. So some people had their roles doubled up. And both Dragon and Telly. Those were
Yep.
you guys had multiple roles, right?
Mhm.
And then
Yep.
Dragon comes out with the flute and blows us away. And then we had to get musician and all that stuff,
Yes,
right?
I love
It
I've
that.
was
got a
super
question
impressive.
about that actually.
Yeah, so once that was all done and we had it casted, then we started meeting. And I forget how long. Do we have 6 weeks rehearsal?
6
I think
weeks.
it was
I
It
think
was
so.
either
Yeah, it
5 or
started
It was
started in
like
like April, I think.
something
Yeah.
like that. It was
I
fast.
remember it. Yeah.
It was late for us,
It
and
was fast.
yeah, but part of it was COVID because again there was another burst, so
Yeah, that
we
too.
were prepared to get started, and then it didn't happen,
Right.
and then we got pushed back later, and all of that fun stuff,
Yep.
and so then the 6 weeks of rehearsals, and then we're ready to perform. So it was, I think in the scheme of things, it took us less than 3 months from start to finish.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Between the writing, casting, and staging of the performance.
Oh wow.
Not always typical.
wow.
Not typical for a full length, but we can definitely do it for shorts.
Right.
So I don't know how we did
Yeah.
it with Shakespeare. I think it was just because we were all home.
I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
the crowd reaction opening night. I
Oh, that
I
was
think we
great,
did
yeah.
pretty well.
I think
It
we
was
did.
honestly-
so good.
So good.
It was so good. Brian and I went and saw it, and we just got a kick out of it. It was
Right.
so.
Great.
It looked like so much fun.
It
It
It was
just
a lot
really
of fun to be a
did.
part of it. It
It
was
It
great.
was.
Yeah, it was
And
great.
sometimes not so fun. I mean, you have different personalities and people doing weird stuff, but at the end
Yeah.
of the day, it's that product, right? And
Mhm.
what came out of that was fun, and friendships were formed, and that was what it was about.
Mama Bear says, my best wishes are with you. One day you will be doing Phantom. And yes, it was fun.
And
Yeah.
ask
Yeah.
her, she'll be in it.
Yep.
Come audition.
Yep. You should audition.
Yeah.
Mama Bear actually, I think she did like a low level film in when she was about my age, which is interesting. It runs in the family, I guess.
Yeah.
I still have to watch that. I still have to see that if there's a
yeah.
way. I would
I don't-
love to see it.
Hey, Dragon, I thought of a good comment to make about the opening night. You should tell them about how your uncle thought of the play.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no. What did he say?
Oh, no, don't worry, it's good.
it's good.
Oh.
So normally, it's Shakespeare, right? So it's usually difficult to catch on to, and it has its slow moments, but he was laughing hysterically through the whole thing. I was like, I did not expect to see that kind of reaction, but it was a very welcome reaction because it genuinely caught me by a very pleasant surprise. I was like, oh, he enjoyed that. That was funny. That was good. That was good.
Well, and it was funny. But it was
Mhm.
funny because the next show, it was really quiet.
Yeah.
So we're like, you know what? We've got to go out there and tell people it's okay to laugh. Because again, that idea that, we don't want people being offended that we're laughing at people who are different. It's a funny play.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
So
Yeah,
just
meant to be
laugh.
funny, yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
but then Saturdays was also funny because Larry Roswell was there, and Larry was with us in Midsummer Night's Dream,
Yeah.
and incidentally is in Shakespeare in the Parks As You Like It. That's happening now,
Oh,
and
wow.
he knows Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So when you get laughs out of Larry, you know you nailed it, and
Yeah.
he laughed from start to finish, and it was a great show.
there
You
we
guys,
go.
I mean, I am completely proud. You should be super proud of yourself because it was
Love it.
excellent. You did great work.
Thank you. It was Shakespeare to me. I had this conversation with Jess. That Shakespeare is so felt so daunting, but we absolutely crushed it.
We
It
did.
was
Everybody
amazing.
did. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was great.
It was
And
absolutely
when that
amazing.
moment, and it is hard. And at first, the first read through, it's like, what is happening?
Right.
Right.
But the
Yeah.
more that you talk through stuff and the more that you're acting it out, you pick
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
You
Well, yeah.
understand it better. Yeah.
Stronger acting skills too. If you really
Yes.
think about it, Shakespeare is probably one of the hardest plays.
Agreed.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
played it,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Titania, that was probably one of the hardest plays I was ever
It was
challenged.
hard. That was hard.
But but it was a good way to be challenged because you know what kind of potential you have
Right.
when
Yeah.
it comes to acting or anything like that, because you need to challenge yourself in
Right.
order for you to have that growth. And
Right.
that's the great thing about it. You feel accomplished after, and you're proud of yourself.
Right.
That's the
Mhm.
great thing.
Exactly.
Yes, agreed.
Mama Bear says lots of applause to the whole team of As You Like It. Nice.
Yes.
We
Thank
did
you.
great. We really did do
Thank
pretty
you.
great.
It was a good show.
It was
Very
good.
good show.
Okay, I will ask my next one, which is, where is it? I had a show that a question that I was gonna come back to.
It was like musical directing, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, because I have it written down. Oh, what do you think it was the, having a musical director in As You Like It, or just in general having a musical director? What do you think that added to a show?
Oh, I think it changed the entire play.
Yeah.
When we
Yeah, for
first
sure.
had a conversation about it. Okay, so one of the things you also have to watch, obviously, are
Hold on, before you answer that, everybody hydrate.
Oh, yeah.
I,
Water.
I don't have to. Just pretend we did it.
Okay.
Let's pretend we did.
Okay.
I have another channel point redemption where we hydrate.
I love it.
Yep.
Do
All right, go ahead.
So you have to watch when you're doing plays because of rights, obviously.
Right.
Songs that are copywritten,
Right.
you don't want to use someone else's work without permission and all of that.
Right.
So initially we're like, okay, well, we're not going to sit there and do things every 30 seconds. That light just went out. That was really weird.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it came back
Uh-oh,
on.
uh-oh.
Whiz, bang. So we were like, okay, how do we do this? And I believe you just sat down at a random piano or
Yeah.
something. And I said, oh my God, if he would just play that.
Yeah.
And then it was just like intro and exit. And then it was like, if he does this in between the scenes. So what it does, I think, for people viewing, it breaks things up nicely.
Yep.
Also, there's different types of people who view plays.
Yep.
Some people are very daunted by audio text, right?
Yep.
But you might catch them on your songs.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Light flickering.
It's weird. You have some people that they're purists and they just want the dialogue, and then there's others that just watch it for the the movement and all of that.
Right.
So I think when you add that musical piece, you elevate the work that you're already doing.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what it does. Like the music, we need that. That's another piece to what heals us.
Yeah.
And makes us who we are. So I think your work in that changed the presentation of what happened.
Yep.
Because it could have been pretty boring without it. Definitely would have been boring without it.
It added. I feel like the way I approached it, and I'll actually add a kind of like an insider secret as well onto that tunes. But what that did was it gave people just like 30-40 seconds to just absorb the scene. And not only that, it gave our stage manager, and I talked to our stage manager about this extensively. It gave our stage manager time to just be like, okay, I've got a job to do, and I got to do it very quickly.
Yeah.
But this gives me time. This gives me time to slow down and actually not rush through the thing and miss cues and all that. But I will give you an insider type thing that very first opening flute tune was the only thing that I rehearsed, and the rest was all improvised. Every day was something different, and I drew inspiration for that opening tune. I drew inspiration from Lord of the Rings.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Nice.
If you listen
Another thing I'll add to that is that you also help people who didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
Learn what was actually happening, especially when there was singing.
Right.
And we're talking about people that were acting on the stage. They may not have understood that they were, this was a funny scene or this was supposed to be more serious.
Right.
By having the music, you help them understand at least the context of what was happening in their scene.
Ooh, Mama Bear makes a wonderful point. It
it's
also,
pretty much
Mama Bear says, it also helps you transition smoothly and sense of continuity.
Yeah,
That's
Agreed.
correct.
Yeah, it's
Very
true.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like, you know, scene changing and music to go with it, you know, is just perfect. Because really, as the musical director, what you do sets the tone for the rest of the scene. I mean,
Correct.
what I was doing, doing was like a little bit deliberate, because like, you know, I was kind of staying within the time period, like Shakespearean time period, by playing on the harpsichord, but then throwing in the flute just to kind of slow it down a little further, and like just be like, okay, this is that's why after like a crazy scene, I would play something slower, because it's like, okay, a lot just happened.
Yep, gotta digest it.
Mhm.
Yes.
You
Agreed.
Yep, you gotta, you know, kind of give people time to just be like, all right, I need that to sit in my head, what just happened, for like
Yes.
30 or so seconds.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Telly Punky, any questions further?
Yeah, I have some. Let's see. I have kind of a fun one right here. It could be for anyone.
Okay.
It could be for anyone here. It's what is your inspiration for acting?
Ooh,
Mm.
that's the
Inspiration.
good one.
Well, mine is Jessica. She's why Inclusive exists.
Aw.
And seriously, again, you never tell a mom with a child that has disability no, because guess what? We're going to do it anyway. But then to see, like, I've watched her grow as a human being, for me is my greatest honor, right? Like, to be able to see her when she was shy and reserved to get up there and own a stage. But she was why Inclusive exists. She is why it will continue. You're mine.
I was inspired, interestingly enough, through movies and TV shows and music.
Yep.
So I would always, because being a little girl, having these dreams and stuff, and then you have teachers saying no, that's just a pipe dream. That's just a show. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do any of that stuff that any of the quote unquote normal people do, which I laugh still to this day of how ridiculous people had really told me no. And I would always point out to my mom when I was real little, I was like, Mommy, I want to be like them.
Right.
How can I get there? I didn't know what was happening.
Well, that's because they were told no. I mean, it's really sad what people do to stop other folks' dreams from happening.
Yeah.
And it's because of, it's learned behaviors, and it's not an excuse, but you really do have to push back.
Right.
People that are telling, oh, you'll never do this. Clearly something happened where someone said that. You don't just inherently do that.
Right.
And you just, you can't. You just, okay, I feel bad for you, but I'm going to keep doing it.
That's a good point, Mama Bear. I like
Mama
that.
Bear. Actually, before we get to that, I wanna answer my question. Answer this question, because this will perfectly transition me into Mama Bear's comment. Who inspired me to get into acting and all that? My mother.
I love it.
Yeah. Cause she's, throughout this whole thing, she's like encouraged me so much, and whether when it was Look Up, when I became, when I got into it, when I became assistant director, when I started working with Green Buffalo, when I started working with you guys, like every step of the way, Mom has always been supported. 100%.
Aww.
And that,
I love you, Mama Bear.
we really do.
We do.
And that perfectly transitions me into her comment of saying, stage is like a canvas and actors are the colors who express themselves.
Exactly.
That
is beautiful.
Yeah, I
Can-
like that.
Beautiful.
Can we quote that,
Description.
please? That is a beautiful quote. With that, I need to put that on a shirt or something.
Yes, and we all
Yeah.
did
That is beautiful. Yeah.
Motivational quote. like those affirmations, those positive affirmations that should be definitely something to stick in your mind.
Mama Bear out here making straight banger quotes. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
She's right, and she's right. And you never know what colors they're gonna paint with. That's why it's so much fun, right? Like, so again, to squash someone's potential and to say no, give them the brush and let them paint. Damn it! Like, let them do their thing, and like, you're amazed at what comes out.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened with Pablo Picasso and stuff.
Well, I mean, hey, all artists, it's art.
Right.
Freedom.
And art is why we live, right? Like, without art, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Unhappy jobs.
Right. Mama Bear is just absolutely vibing with us. She says, "Oh, I feel so humbled. I love you, all my cubs." Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Oh my God, I'm gonna break. We don't want to go down that route. Nobody wants to see me cry on the podcast.
Yes, we do. Do it.
Don't do it.
You're auditioning. Do it.
No, I can't right now. All right, here's another fun one. Are there any? Can you share with us? And this is for everybody. Can you share with us any hidden talents that you have? I like that laugh.
Oh, hidden talents? Oh, I think I got one.
This is for
I
everybody.
can actually grab things with my feet.
Yeah, she's weird like that.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really weird.
Like, you know what? Where's that? I think I'm gonna use my phone. A second.
She's got like monkey feet like that. I don't know.
Oh, that's cool.
If somebody drops a pencil and they look at me, I'll be like, "You're welcome."
but it's like, it's gross. It was between your toes, but okay.
Well, I picked it up for you. I don't have to bend down. That's one of the best perks. Because I can control my mind with my feet.
Well done. Well done.
All right. Punky, your turn.
Secret talents. I'm really good at sounding like a little kid, I guess. If that's a hidden
Voices,
talent.
voice acting.
Hi,
That's
my
cool.
name is Sally.
There we
And,
go.
I like unicorns, and I play with Barbies.
This is
And then my name is Billy, and I think Barbies
love
are
it.
stupid.
I love it. I love it. Man, you need to use those.
Brian hates that. He hates it when I do that.
Oh my God. Ma Bear says that is great, Punky. Yes, it is.
Thank you.
It is great.
My hidden talent is, well, it is hidden because I don't do it very often, is this. This thing right here. I made this. I can paint.
I don't know
kinda.
what is. I don't know what you're.
What's this?
This thing. It's just a painting.
I can't see it.
Hold on, let me look on the.
Oh, you
Can you
can't?
still- No.
This-
Well, it's because we have things set up, I think.
Oh, okay. It's painting. I don't do it a lot, but like I feel like I surprise myself every time I paint. This thing.
It looks really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks good.
I might make more.
It's a commercial. We can't see it yet.
Oh yeah.
We got the-
Mama Bear, one of your students does what? Paint? Mama Bear said one of her students does that. Does what?
Oh,
Oh, I
that.
love it. Yeah.
Oh, that.
Now I see it.
Now
Yep.
we saw it. Sorry, we
This
couldn't
thing.
see
Yeah, I
it.
love it.
Sorry about that.
Yep, it's all right.
It's okay.
Telly, what is your secret talent?
Okay. Well, first, before I get to that, the first question I had was inspiration for acting. I didn't really get a chance to answer that.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, it's okay. I'd just say for that, my answer would be just, I guess the friends I have around me, like from like the people we met in during Look Up, I'd say like they're my inspirations for it. Like especially our lead in Look Up, she's a good friend of mine and probably a big inspiration for me for acting now.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
and hidden talents, I'd say. I can draw kind of good, like Umar, like that sign, that WWE sign. You can show them that first.
Yes.
And then
this one. Telly made this.
I drew that.
I see aloe line. Oh, okay.
Buffalo. It's
Now I-
reverse.
okay.
I drew that, and then I'd say another one for me would be I can do some voices. I like to do like some like funny voices too.
Why don't
Like,
you
Oh,
demonstrate? Why don't
like
you
I
demonstrate?
could do a pretty good Vince McMahon.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Give me a topic. Give me a topic.
Let's say you just got cast in As You Like It.
Okay. Yes, my name is Vince McMahon, and I'm the lead of As You Like It, and my scene partner will be Brock Lesnar and Austin Theory, the best wrestlers in the world.
Oh, that's terrific. Oh my god. So funny.
Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god.
Great.
So if
Do it.
anybody needs a Vince McMahon in their plays, just hit me up.
It's not the only one he can do.
Anybody watching? I do a good Vince McMahon.
It's not the only one he can do.
Do another one.
Okay. You guys ever heard of Bernie Sanders? You know Bernie
Yes.
Sanders, the former guy who should have won for president. My name is Bernie Sanders. Fight the power.
It's so good.
That
It's
is
so good.
well done.
I-
Well
I'll
done.
also say another inspiration for me is this guy on YouTube. He calls himself Azers. He does funny voices
Yes.
like that. Yeah, he's another inspiration for me. I learned to do those voices from him. Well, the Bernie Sanders one from him, but the Vince McMahon one I just picked up myself.
I love it.
Also,
Mhm.
at the end of the podcast, you can ask us questions. So if you have any questions for us, like
Think about
for
that.
for you know what we're doing here, like podcast or stream or whatever else that we do.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. I'm seeing. Okay, covered that. Covered that. Covered that. Covered. There's so many that we covered. Just
I got a good one.
Okay.
I got one too, but yeah, go for
Okay.
it.
All right. This is another question for everybody here. What would be considered your dream role? in acting?
Oh, well,
The what?
Dream roll.
dream
Dream
role.
role.
Y'all already know mine. Y'all
Mary
already know.
Magdalene and Jesus Christ Superstar.
Nice.
Or
Nice.
Columbia and Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
My two dream favorites.
And yeah, that was good. I'd say for me, I'd say a Star Wars character, like a Sith kind of character. Like I would like to play that, not just like one who's already made. I want to play like a brand new character, like that they just bring to like some random like new movie or like Disney Plus. I just want to be like a new character in Star Wars.
Actually, on that
And-
point,
Yeah.
we have a nickname for Telly.
Oh, that's right, we do. Yeah.
On the channel, sometimes we like to call him Darth Teledrius. Darth
Because-
Telly.
Yeah, Darth Teletrius.
Yep.
Yeah, because like if like he's asking the channel like asking like the chat like, oh, should I do this mission or whatever, and then like like how in Star Wars the Emperor Palpatine he goes like do it like that. I just put that in the chat. I just put,
Do it.
Do it.
And yeah, I just put that, and they call me Darth Teledrius. And
Yeah.
then my other dream role would be there's a funny one, the wrestler Dolph Ziggler, because I like him, and I like when he says it should have been me, because I feel like that's just a funny line, and I'd like to play as him one day.
Yep. There you go. Mine is well, you already know.
Phantom, right?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Yeah. let me. Phantom.
Oh, Phantom. Okay.
Let's be honest.
I thought you said Thanos.
Or
I thought he said Thanos too. I'm like,
Thanos. honestly, I wouldn't be against
Like,
it.
who wants to be Thanos?
Like,
But hey, I'm not judging you.
Like imagine on stage you just snap your fingers and like 10 actors just flop down on the floor. Like, can you imagine? Like that would be funny. That's like a comedian piece just waiting to happen.
True story.
All right. This is my.
Oh, what about Amy and Jess? Like, what
Oh,
are your
right.
dream
Yeah.
roles?
Yeah.
Oh well, I got a few.
Mm.
I would love to be a survivor in a horror movie.
Ooh.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Maybe play a killer.
Ooh.
Maybe
Ooh.
a killer or like a main character. Maybe like be a sidekick of like. I'm not sure if he'll do it ever again, but like Ash vs. Evil Dead type of thing. That would be fantastic. Or be like a voice actor. I would love to do that. I would love to do voice acting. Maybe do future documentaries just to be myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really fun to do and
Um,
stuff.
I mean,
Yeah, and I don't act, so I would just want Inclusive to continue to grow, simply
That's
because I
good.
think there's so much work that needs to be done,
right.
and we're
Yeah.
starting it. We're chipping away, but we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
So to
That's
see it
true.
grow.
And the team is only growing, and
Yeah.
you love to see it, as I say.
Yes,
My
yes,
catchphrase.
agreed.
You
Agreed.
love to see
I would like
it.
to be in Star Wars as well.
Yes.
Stormtrooper.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be
Maybe
fun. Yeah.
like a female stormtrooper, or maybe be like one of the rebels.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rebels. Yeah.
Okay.
That would
That'd
be
be cool.
Princess
awesome.
Leia.
Yes. Yes.
Or work with Anakin. Maybe be this part of the Sith,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
That'd
it.
be
or
cool.
some sort of Jedi. That'd be fun to do.
That's one of the things I want to do, like for Halloween or something. Like I've been looking for like like an authentic like lightsaber that can go glow red. Is I want to do like a Sith makeover almost for myself.
We need a party.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even remember where I got it. Yeah,
You got it for me for Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah, I don't remember.
Sorry, sorry, Dragon. I thought she would. She got the lightsaber. So
It's all right. All right. My final question. Let's see. Where is it? Okay. This is a two-parter.
Okay.
What are 3 pieces of advice that you give to new or aspiring actors? And also, what do you say to people who are nervous about performing in front of a crowd?
Okay, so first, I would tell somebody that wants to act or other already cast is the one, just do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Like, don't get in your head. If it's something that you love and that you're passionate about, just do it. Second, work hard.
Yeah.
It isn't easy to do things. It isn't in any area that you're in, right? You can, NFL football players, wrestlers, they all train. It takes a long time to get there. You can't just give up. And the third, like literally never give up. Your dreams are so important. And if you don't like aspire to them and you throw them away because someone told you couldn't do it, the only person, the world loses out, right? But
Right.
really at the end of the day, it's you that does, because you don't get to see who you could be.
Right.
And I think everybody has just so much potential in them that, your job is to grow.
Right.
And that would be, and for somebody who is afraid in front of an audience, it is scary. But again, you don't know unless you try.
Right.
And Inclusive has opportunities that sometimes, there's things that we do that are smaller. So maybe you try a smaller show until you get your feet wet. And then, the next one, maybe it has 100 people that are in the audience or whatever. But really is just to give it a shot. Everything is scary, right? Again, that's our level of discomfort is where we grow.
Yeah.
So when we're scared, if we challenge ourselves, we can do some pretty amazing things. So we have to just kind of push ourselves a little bit.
Yeah. Mama Bear says, I want to see Dragon in the role of Phantom of the Opera. We're working.
Me too!
Working towards it. Mama Bear also says, great advice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a couple, but
Go.
Okay. You want to add anything? Also, I will open this up to my co-hosts as well, because they have experience. They're at this point seasoned actors and directors at this point too. So I'm gonna Punky Telly, I'm gonna also open this up to you. But first, I think Jess had something to add.
Okay.
yeah, I have a few advice for people. There's no dream too big and no dream too small.
That's right. Yeah.
No matter what you do or what you achieve, it doesn't matter what size or anything.
Don't dream it.
To always believe in yourself as
Yes,
well, because you
yes.
can achieve anything that you deeply desire.
Yes.
Anything can happen
That's
when
true.
you achieve it yourself and have a good mindset.
Yeah.
Because with a good mindset, you'll have good results, and that can happen. Trust me.
Yeah.
We've done things surprisingly. I can't believe what we did. That you would never think in a million years you would do to accomplish.
Well, and the other thing I'll
And
add,
always come prepared too.
and I'll add to that as well, is if you don't see yourself being represented wherever you're at, whether it's a film or a play or whatever. It is your responsibility to make sure you're seen and to make sure that you are heard, because there's way too many people that are ready to silence people that are different than others or who are deemed different, right? Because we're humans. We are all the same. Our difference, again, is what makes us beautiful. But if you do not see yourself in what you're seeing, that is an indicator to you and to everybody else that it's time for change. And up until a certain point, you'd go to every single show and every character would be a white person and they would be physically able and all of these things. And then you'd have white people telling people of color stories and things like that. Stop letting people tell your stories, tell your own, and show up so you can show people what it's like and how important it is to be diverse, because that is, again, the beauty in who we are.
Exactly. Punky Telly, do you want to add anything to that?
I'd say like it doesn't matter I'd say theater is really a place for everybody. Like, doesn't matter like who you are, what you do. Like, everyone's always welcome in theater. And just another, and like some also advice I'd say is like always make sure like you because there's a lot of work that goes into it. Like, make sure that you do like rehearse your lines a lot too, because like memorization is very important, and not only for yourself but like your scene partners too, because there's times where like you might need to like save your scene partners. Like we've all had to do it before. Like, it's an important thing to do, and especially as a director too, make sure you know the lines too, just to help out.
I would say trust.
Trust
is a big thing. You have to trust in yourself. You have to trust in your scene partners. You have to trust in your directors. Everybody there is there to help lift you up. And you have to you have to trust these people that they've got your back, you've got their back, you've got your own back. Everybody's there to help each other out.
All have the same goal.
Exactly.
Honestly, I have nothing else to add, because you guys, between all of y'all summed it up perfectly. That's like, if there was like a guide to like a theater beginner, you could literally take all of that.
Just watch this podcast.
Literally just watch this segment and you'd be set. You would be absolutely set. Okay, that. Excuse me. Flango says the music elevates the narrative. Thank you.
Yes.
I don't know if how much y'all can hear the music, but we've got like drums and stuff going on right now in the back, so it helps build the conversation. All right. You guys have any other questions? Because my questions are set.
I'd say I have just one more I want to ask, but I always ask this every podcast we do to every guest. I'd say, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, first of all, I see us in August 4th and 7th at St. Mary's High School in Lancaster, doing our Festival of Shorts. We have plays by Justin Karcher, Justin Pope, George Bryjack, Hillary Bluestein Lyons, Justin Pope again, Ellen Shearer, and Madison Sedlor, and I think that's everybody. And I have some beautiful folks on this podcast here who are part of the production, which we're super excited about.
I can't wait.
Yes. This fall, we have Matt Boyle is coming in and will be directing The Boys Next Door. It's a full-length play, and it's about some gentlemen that live in a group home and some of the challenges that they face. Going forward, we know spring Shakespeare, right? Like, that's our thing. Every spring, early summer, that's what we're going to be doing. And again, I guess in 5 years, continued growth. Like, we know that at some point, we have residency right now at St. Mary's, but we want our own space. We want to continue to grow as an organization and bringing more people in. And, we're getting some really great opportunities. Cornell University was at our last production, and they interviewed actors to include them in some things that are going out to train as training videos, but just to expand our reach, because we're more than just Western New York, right? Like, we have a whole world to conquer. So that's what our 5-year plan is, to conquer the world.
That's a good answer. I like
and
that.
conquer you shall at this pace and direction you guys are moving, and the way you guys the company carries itself and the people that you guys bring on. Like I'm stuck. You know, I don't want to say whether you like it or not, but like I don't want to say that part, but like I don't know what the right thing to say is, so I'm not even gonna say it. So I'm just gonna say you're stuck with me.
Listen,
Yeah.
we say that. Like, we say that you think you're coming in, you're doing a show, and you're leaving, but you're stuck with us forever. So, sorry.
I plan on being stuck with my current companies that I'm working with, and plus adding to that list.
Yeah, adding, yeah.
And that was like that's why Punky, I talked to you about like different theater companies, because I want us, the three of us, to grow together, because we started our journey culminated and collectively started with with Look Up, really. And now and in everything that we work, we almost work together in some way, shape, or form. So I want, listen, I don't know about y'all, but I want my team beside me.
Yes.
100% of the time. Cause you know, this is we are what I call us the inner council almost, because it's the three of us and we like work as a squad. So that is what kind of is for us. Okay, yeah, you guys wanna?
Well, I have a few 5-year. Well, you know, do more plays. I love filming. You know, I just love being in films and stuff. So that's so much fun to do. Be involved in like documentaries. Maybe, hopefully, a future documentary will come out at some point.
Yeah.
I would look forward to that. You know, just to continue. You know, keep on grinding and just, you know, and networking too, meeting people and having good connections and bonds with people. You know, I want to still continue to do that, and just still continue to get out there and travel more and see people.
Right.
All right. Yeah, because networking is so important as an actor, because you're trying to find
and collaboration.
Right. Yeah. Because you're trying to oh my god, hold on, I'm losing my train of thought here. Because you're trying to grow and meet new people, gain new perspectives. The Sunday perspective. Anyway, you're trying to gain a new perspective in life, in like in your art. So it's good to look at different people of different background and work with them, and because you yourself grow, and your passion, your career, for some people even, grows with it, and it's kind of like a win-win situation, really.
Well, I'll just add, I mean, it's hard work. You need help.
Right.
You cannot do it alone.
Right.
So collaboration, and through working, you guys, we collaborate with you, we collaborate with Green Buffalo, St. Mary's, and Springville, and West New York Improv, all these other groups, they help us to become who we are. And that's so important, because you can't do the work yourself. It's a lot of work.
Right. It is.
Yeah.
Any questions from you guys? Any final comments, thoughts, anything that all of y'all want to add?
I don't think so.
No?
I think everything that I had on my note sheet, we all talked about it.
Okay.
So.
Telly?
Just about for me. Yeah, just about this. I hit everything we want to talk about. Yeah.
Chat, if you have any final questions that you want to ask of our lovely guests, please go ahead and drop them. Amy and Jess, would you like to ask questions of us?
Well, I mean, no, but I would, because I see you and I podcast regularly anyway. But what I will say, just kind of to conclude, is that you are the only person that's in control of your dreams, right? No, don't let anyone say things that will stop you. Your voice matters. all of those pieces that make you who you are and what you want to do, you have to do it.
Yep.
And it's really easy to be defeated, and some people aren't kind. You just have to, you take those bumps and you keep going.
Right.
Because if it's in your heart and it's in your mind that you want to do something, whether it's acting or dancing or whatever it is, you have to do it for yourself, not for anybody. And the light agrees with me because it went off again. Do what you love, and you will never work a day in your life. And do what you love, and you will always be happy. Like if you love it, that's where you're at.
Happiness matters the most at this point. You got to do what makes you happy,
Yeah.
not what other people want you to do,
Right.
but what you want to do, because you are your own person, and you are the pilot of your own life.
And be kind, because we're all going through stuff.
Right.
So just be kind and good to one another, and everything will come out the way that you want it to.
Right. Yep. That's the one thing that's like the thing I push on my channel so much is kindness, and kindness, and be keep your heart open, because you don't know what people are going through. Because I can tell you, me as a streamer, as a creator, I don't really let it be known too much, but like there's a responsibility for us as content creators, because people come in to my channel feeling type of way, this or that, and the stuff that you say, the way you interact with your audience can turn that around, and it's so fast, and it can make them feeling heard. It can make them feel good, and it's and that, again, coming back to your point, that stems from being kind.
And it's so much easier to be kind than it is to be hateful.
Yes.
It is. The energy on the other. Just put extra kindness out if you want to do more work.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And good things will come back to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see here. Normally we do drop a raid, but just for the way this is set up, we won't drop a raid today. So kind of explaining Twitch culture to you guys. At the end of a stream, we do what's called a raid, which is basically we take all of our viewers and give them to another streamer so that we can share the love with somebody else. Today, just with the way how we do the podcast and how it works out with Spotify, we don't usually raid too often on podcast nights. But yes, guys, I think with that, we're gonna close it out. Let me just set this up. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much, Jess and Amy, for taking time out of your evening for hanging out with us and sharing such wonderful stories. Seriously, that was amazing, and I think I've learned so much from tonight, and it's great. Thank you, everybody else in chat for hanging out. Mama Bear, Flango, seriously, thank you. And thank you for all the support that you guys give me and give us as podcasters, as content creators, as actors, and all that. I've been Dragon. With me, I've had Telly.
Good night, everybody.
And I've had Punky.
Good night, everyone.
Y'all want to do the thing? Y'all wanna do the thing? The sign off? Okay, here we go. Everybody be safe. Take care.
Take care.
Take care.
And
We
will see you.
We'll see you
next time.
Next time.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.